Hello and welcome to my daily series of recording the lectures. Now, the screen just keeps flipping between straight and reverse. It does because at an angle there is a sort of crossing of signals, whether it's rear, whether it's upright, whether it's inverted. There is a sort of confusion in between the technology. But this is not what we are going to talk about. This is regarding one of the recent incidents that actually shook us from inside. And this fellow I'm going to talk about is one of the sparrows that has been living with us since 1.5 years. And it was just healthy and fine and had all the cheerfulness. But last week we lost one of the sparrows. Except this, not this one. He was around 4 months old and he kept becoming more and more lethargic, and I think it was us to blame that we didn't notice that there was something unusual developing into his behavior, and just we lost him. It was heart-wrecking, and it was a lesson for us in the future that what to do and what not to do. As you see, look for these symptoms and can go proactively about the actions that can be taken. Now, in that sparrow, we had seen that he had fluffed feathers, and as well as it was lethargic and used to sleep on one side with its head turned towards one side, like its eyes are being concealed into its feather. Maybe it gives them a sort of relaxation. This is what we do, like this. It's a posture for the birds. We could have noticed, but didn't. We lost the buddy. And by the next week, I read somewhere that since it mostly affects the young breedings of the chickens as well as the pet birds, you may not need not worry about the elephants. I kept saying the same thing about my adult sparrow, but 3 days before, it started developing signs. It too became lethargic and showed the lack of energy, lack of movements, loss of appetite, fluffy feathers, and head turns toward one side. We were so much scared that we rushed towards a hospital which is in Greater Noida, and it's no sort of charity hospital. They do not charge you anything. It just runs on the donation. They did fed it one medicine which is all aimed at destroying all the bacteria that might have developed into its digestive system. 2 days it ran fine, but on the third day, again, it started showing the symptoms of going down, the energy was down, and we again got scared. I spread the words, tried to connect to the old veterinary person, and to one of my friends whose wife happens to be vet, not for birds, but for dogs and cats. And she had got contacts in every Indian Veterinary Research Institute, and they had some recommendations for this bird. And that prescription slip came, I bought the medicines, and these medicines magically, or say strangely, are meant for humans. They are just to be fed to our pets in a small dosage, and this is how it will benefit them. And it has to complete it for its entire duration, for time it is recommended. And it has started showing sign of recovery, and it's such a great pleasure. Prescription came, it was fed according to the doses, and maybe a bit drops or two extra, and it was lethargic for yesterday, and we were still scared what would happen, because in the morning there's always a surprise. There can be dwindling of situation or maybe improvement, but recent experience has really not been good for memory to be recalled. And in the morning I found it, yeah, okay, fine, it looked like a little lethargic, but overall good. So now the shine on the face and the smiles are back, and the fella is doing really good. Thank you all. Thank you, science.